Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Good morning to you. It is Monday morning. On this particular video, I have my cup of coffee, second one, so hopefully I'll be on my game today. Got the Pink Floyd Hammers mug rocking. A lot of great questions from viewers. Let's start off with Hex Armin. That is the YouTube username. Thank you for the advice. Why do you suggest getting 2 cameras? Not sure I understand that. And is buying a used camera a good investment? Don't the shutter parts get worn off? Well, multi-part question here. As you can see, I'm getting used to using the extended arm for the mic here, and I'm just noticing because it's clamped to the desk, it vibrates a little when I move, because this desk isn't super solid. It's just a desk on legs, and you can see the mic moves a bit. So anyways, I'm just a little distracted because I'm used to my little mic stand, but I thought I'd try this again. A lot of people have asked me why I wasn't using the scissor arm. It's handy because you can move it around where you're going and everything like that. And for those of you that continually tell me that my mic isn't in the right position with the little stand, well, this one is in the right position. The little stand works fine. I know it's not orientated right, but it gets great sound regardless. Anyways, let's get to Hex Armin's question. Why do I suggest 2 cameras? Well, that's easy. We go back to the Navy SEALs motto, one of them anyways, and that's that 2 is 1 and 1 is none. If you understand what that means, it's basically that if you have 2 and 1 breaks on you, you've got 1 left. In other words, you're not screwed. So imagine a Navy SEAL. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. If something breaks and it's something they really need, if they've got 2, then they're okay, they got 1. But if they got 1 and that breaks, they're screwed. It's the same with cameras. And for a hobbyist, not such a big deal, unless you're on like the trip of a lifetime, in which case I would recommend a backup. But for a professional or a semi-pro where you're getting paid to shoot, for instance, a wedding, 2 is 1 and 1 is none is very important. Because if you're shooting a wedding and your camera breaks, I'm sorry, my camera broke, Mr. and Mrs. Bride and Groom, is not a good excuse. There's no excuse. If you're getting paid to do something, you need to be prepared. You need to have backups. You could get sued. You could get sued into oblivion for somebody's wedding. That's a one-off event, a very important life event. And if you got 1 camera, you're shooting the wedding. That's not professional. They're expecting you to have backup gear. 2 is 1, 1 is none. So that's why I recommend having 2 cameras, and why I often like to have 2 of the same body, because it makes, while you're working with 2, it's fine to keep using them both in tandem. I mean, a lot of people will have 2 bodies, sometimes even 3, and put their 2 favorite primes on it, and they just work with the 2. And if a body goes down, then you switch lenses and use the other body, but you've still got a functioning body. So having 2 of the same body makes it nice, because when you're working from one to the other, your brain doesn't have to switch over to the different camera body and the controls. That's why we recommend shooting with 2 bodies. It's more for pro work where you're getting paid, or a situation where it would be earth-shattering if 1 camera broke to miss the opportunity. So maybe the trip of a lifetime, something like that. And then you said, is buying a used camera a good investment? Well, that's a whole other ball of wax, but it can be, I guess, is the short answer. I guess I'm fence sitting on there, because if it's in good shape and it has low mileage and the price, and all of those can weigh in higher than the other, because I would consider a camera with higher mileage if the price was incredible. So it just depends, right? So good shape, low mileage. When I say mileage, I mean low shutter count, and it doesn't look beat up, what shape it's in, and then the price. All 3 of those factor into, and then that has to be your threshold for where the 3 of those factor into, are you wanting to buy it? So that's my answer there. And don't the shutter parts get worn? Yeah, sure they do, but they're serviceable. So depending, there again, we factor in the price. So you might be buying a used camera with a low shutter count, so you're going to get a lot of use, hopefully, out of it before the shutter goes. Or if you buy a used one with a high shutter count, but get a really good price, so you can factor in what a shutter's going to cost, you can just keep using it till the shutter goes, or send it in for a shutter servicing. So you got to factor all these in. Hope that answers your question. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me on the 2 is 1, 1 is none? Why to shoot with 2 cameras? I'll be interested to hear if anybody has a contrary opinion, because I'm absolutely steadfast on that. If you're shooting pro work, if you're shooting at all to get paid, you must have two bodies. You're being negligent if you don't. If you have a competing opinion on that, feel free to leave it below, but I doubt you're going to change my mind. But hey, take a kick at the can. And what about used camera equipment? Do you agree with me? Those three things: price, the mileage, how many shutter counts, and the shape of the body will factor in on how comfortable you are buying. Leave your comments below. Let's discuss the two. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your question, Hex Armin. I just hit the mic because I'm getting used to using this again. I'm liking it, but I think I'm going to mount it to something other than the desk, so that if my arm shakes the desk a little bit, the mic doesn't move. Not that you're going to hear it when the mic moves. It just is distracting to me when I see it moving. Must be OCD kicking in. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.